Hello boys and girls! I'd like to show you my Christmas project 2009. It's Dracula's castle from Castlevania on the NES, made entirely out of gingerbread. If you're thinking, that place looks way too fairy tale landish to be Dracula's castle, with its toppings and bright colors, well, just realize that Dracula likes to celebrate Christmas too. He simply made the place a bit more festive. Notice the pink bits here and there. They were initially blood red, but then snow fell upon the land of Transylvania. And when the blood red mixed with the snow, it turned pink. I want you to pay special attention to the tower that's sticking out on the castle's left side. That's the tower that you can initially see near the end of stage 3, far off in the distance. Seeing that tower for the first time in the game, it's gotta be one of the most epic moments in video game history. You see the tower far, far away, and instantly you know that that's where you need to go. That's where Dracula himself is waiting. In the actual game, it's such an effective usage of 64 by 64 pixels or so. There's the staircase leading up to the top of the tower. Now, I've never actually made it to that tower myself, but I know I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. There's the castle courtyard, full of big skulls, trees, and infected mushrooms. Oh, hey look, there's Santa Claus on his way to give Dracula and his minions their presents. Hope you've been nice this year, Dracula. Oh, look at Santa in his pink little outfit. Hey, wait, that's not Santa, that's Little Mac. There's the moon, giving the castle that ominous glow. We have bats. And we have floating eyeballs. The backdrop is a hand-painted replica of one of the backgrounds from Simon's Quest. Now, just like the castle that you see in the far distance near the end of the third stage of the first game, I find that this background is extremely effective in creating the illusion of a game world that's spacious. It's all an illusion. Alright, that's the castle in its final form. Now I'd like to show you some techniques and experiences from the creation process. In making the castle, I took an incremental approach. That is, I didn't draw and bake everything in one go. The reason is, I'm not an architect. I didn't want to risk baking a lot of stuff only to find out that some of the measurements were wrong or that some of the pieces would swell to an arbitrary size in the oven. By baking it piece by piece, I was able to adapt the size of the next pieces based on the actual size of the pieces I had finished so far. I started by doing the 4 corner towers. They are identical in structure. I cut a cardboard toilet roll tube in half, using each half to build half a tower. I covered the cardboard in baking paper, so that the dough would not stick to the tubes. Since the cardboard is going into the oven, you probably don't want to use glue for this. I used a stapler. The roof is made up of several triangular pieces. Notice that the roof is split up into 2 sections. The upper section is steeper, giving the roof a witch's hat look. Next, I did the outer castle walls. Not too difficult. Only thing worth mentioning here is the hole in the left wall to make room for the middle tower. To glue the parts together, I used melted sugar. But remember, boys and girls, you should only do this under the strict supervision of an adult. Next, I did the lower part of Dracula's tower. The corridor in the middle here is essentially to provide support. For the steps of the staircase, I made small gingerbread planks. Getting the planks the right size can be tricky. My recommendation is to make them longer rather than shorter, and then just nibble at them until they're the correct size. Just don't tell your friends and family that some parts are coated with your saliva. The top of Dracula's tower rests comfortably on a gingerbread disc. Notice that this tower is slimmer than the other ones, because I was afraid that the rest of the structure would not be able to sustain the weight. The floating eyeballs? They're gumballs with icing sugar and breath mints stuck onto them. The bats? I googled for Castlevania bat images and drew one of the sprites that came up. I then used that drawing to cut out the gingerbread. The backdrop. 2 pieces of cardboard, acrylic paint. Hope you enjoyed the castle. I already have an idea for next year's project, but until then, Merry Christmas.